Thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. Tonight we take a look at a popular monster, werewolves, and some of their most notable historic encounters. Peter Stube, 1589. Peter Stube was a farmer in the Rhineland, just outside of the town of Bedburg, during a time when there was a lot of religious tension. Where Stube lived in Germany was largely rubble, as it had been laid waste during the Cologne War between Catholics and Protestants. Citizens of the town were being killed off one at a time. Rumors by the local citizens believed it to be the work of a wolf-like monster, which they thought was killing both people and livestock. They described it as greedy, strong, and mighty, with eyes great and large, which in the light sparkled like unto brands of fire, a mouth great and wide, with most sharp and cruel teeth, a huge body and mighty paws. The killings of people and livestock continued, and so did the fear of the creature. Citizens would travel in heavily armed groups when they had to go from one town to the next. For years they tried to track and kill this creature, until 1589, when a group of men finally managed to circle the creature with their weapons and dogs. Finally, when they moved in together, they expected to find a beast, a wolf, but instead they found Stube. It's not clear if they saw him transform, or if he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but they captured him. Mr. Stube was tortured by the townfolk, and upon his torture he confessed to killing one man, 2 pregnant women, and 13 children. There was a pamphlet that circulated in London the next year, in which he told his captors that he had made a pact with the devil when he was 12 years old, exchanging his soul for various pleasures. When he made this deal with Satan, he claimed that the devil had also given him a belt, which allowed him to turn into a wolf. He used these powers to commit a number of atrocities, incest, murder, and cannibalism. October 31st, 1589, he was executed. He was lashed to a wheel, and the flesh was torn from him with heated pincers. All his limbs were broken. Then he was decapitated, and finally, they burned his body to ash. To be on the safe side, his mistress and daughter were also burned alive. Later, they mounted his head on the body of a wolf and displayed him in public so others would be turned off of lycanthropy and deals with the devil. Gilles Garnier, 1573. Gilles lived outside the French town of Dole and was a hermit. Not long after Gilles became a resident outside of town, children began to disappear and turn up deceased, mutilated, and dissected. Local police concluded that it must be the work of a werewolf, and they asked their citizens to be on the lookout. And they gathered a group together to hunt the werewolf. During one of these werewolf hunts, they spotted what they believed to be the creature, lingering over the body of a child. Then, as they closed in the distance, they realized that it was not a werewolf, but it was Gilles Garnier. Like our other lycanthrope, he too was tortured until he confessed. He claims that he was visited by a demon who had given him ointment that turned him into a wolf when he used it. He confessed and said that he killed and ate several children who ventured into his area of the woods. Once found guilty, he was burned at the stake. Jacques Roulet, 1598. Some men stumbled upon the mutilated body of a young boy in the woods. 2 wolves were at the body, tearing at it, but they left as soon as the men got near. The men followed the wolves, hoping to kill them, but after a time, they lost track of their bloody tracks, and at the same time that the tracks faded out of sight, they found Roulet, bloody, half naked, hiding in the woods nearby. He was immediately arrested. He admitted that the devil had given him a salve that also turned him into a werewolf, and he too admitted to killing many. His confession is different than the first two, in that he was not tortured and gave it up willingly. He was convicted of murder, cannibalism, and lycanthropy, and given the death penalty. Later, though, they retracted the death penalty, believing him to be mentally feeble-minded. So he was instead sent to religious education for 2 years, and then an asylum. And now, time for a brief commercial break.
From the evil one, deliver me.
From the evil one, deliver me.
At the hour of my death,
At the hour of my death,
call me and bid me to come to thee.
call me and bid me to come to thee.
Give me the compass. If you don't, we'll take her eyes. We'll take your family's eyes. We'll make this whole town blind.
From the evil one, deliver me.
From the evil one, deliver me.
At the hour of my death,
At the hour of my death,
Probably should have come here first.
come to thee.
call me and bid me.
Werewolves of Poligny, 1521. A traveler passing through the French town of Poligny was attacked by a wolf. He fought off the creature. In doing so, he wounded it. He followed the bloody footprint trail left by the injured beast, but it led him to a house. After knocking on the door, he found there was a woman inside, tending to her husband's injured arm. The traveler became suspicious. He went straight to the authorities, who then arrested the man. Michael Verdun said that he was a shapeshifter, and he too confessed to murder, cannibalism, and trafficking with the devil. But in his confession, he named 2 other men as well, Pierre Bugeaud and Philbert Monteau. The 2 men named were also arrested. Bugeaud confessed as well. In his confession, he claimed that he had made a deal with 3 mysterious strangers in the night in order to protect his sheep. Only after he made the deal did they admit that it involved renouncing God. And then he too received the ointment from Verdun, which allowed him to shapeshift into a werewolf. They claim to have jointly killed at least 2 children. It's not known if the third, Monteau, confessed, but it is known that he was executed with the other 2 men. The Wolf of Ansbach, 1685. Ansbach in Germany was part of the Holy Roman Empire. They too had a wolf who was seen killing and eating livestock, and eventually evolved into killing people. The citizens became suspicious that it was not just a wolf, but a werewolf. They also believed it to be the town's former mayor, who had died, but they believe had come back to life in the form of a wolf. They put together a hunting party of citizens, who went out with a number of dogs. They eventually found the wolf and drove it into a well. While it was cornered, they managed to kill the beast. After they killed it, they cut off the wolf's nose. They put a mask of a human face on it. They dressed it in men's clothing and hung it from a pole as a warning to any others who were considering lycanthropic deals with the devil. Thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. If you enjoyed tonight's video, please like and subscribe, as we'll be uploading more regularly.